To hold on to faith in an era of absolute darkness is to hold on to a burning coal. In a towering, opulent ancient city ruled by a ruthless pagan tyrant, the minds of the masses were chained to stone and gold. The emperor demanded absolute submission, enforcing the worship of lifeless idols with the merciless edge of the sword. The air was thick with the suffocating smoke of forced sacrifices, and the streets echoed with the heavy boots of soldiers hunting down anyone who dared to speak of the one true God. The hearts of the people had grown entirely hard, blinded by the wealth of their vast empire, forgetting the eternal reality of the Creator who gave them life and sustenance. But amidst this overwhelming, suffocating oppression, a small group of righteous youths reached their breaking point. They were young men of nobility and intellect, yet their souls violently rejected the hollow delusions of their people. They looked at the grand marble statues and the lavish sacrifices of gold, and their hearts found only spiritual emptiness. They refused to bow their heads to stone. They refused to surrender their absolute belief in the Creator of the heavens and the earth. Their defiance was soon discovered by the king's spies. Hunted and fiercely persecuted by the empire's ruthless soldiers, they faced a devastating choice: submit to the idols or face violent public execution. Guided by divine light, they abandoned their families, their wealth and their privileged lives, fleeing the iron grip of the city under the heavy protective veil of the dark night. They sought refuge in the cold, desolate embrace of a rocky mountain cave, accompanied only by their loyal dog, who faithfully followed them into the deep shadows. Exhausted, terrified, yet deeply anchored in their faith, they laid their heads upon the hard, unforgiving earth. They prayed with absolute desperation, "Our Lord, grant us from yourself mercy and prepare for us from our affair right guidance." And then the Almighty answered their plea. Allah enveloped them in a miraculous, profoundly heavy slumber. He cast a veil over their ears, completely sealing them from the chaos of the mortal world. Their dog stretched its paws at the threshold of the cave, acting as a silent, terrifying, unmoving guardian. If anyone had looked upon them in the darkness, they would have been filled with absolute terror and turned away in immediate flight. The sun rose and set, its harsh light miraculously veiling their resting bodies. The Quran describes how the sunlight would incline away from their cave on the right and pass them by on the left, keeping them perfectly concealed in a cool, protective shadow. Allah turned them from side to side so the earth would not consume their resting flesh. Outside the cave, the wheels of human history turned with brutal, unforgiving speed. Years turned into decades, decades bled into centuries. Mighty empires rose in blood and crumbled to scattered dust. Tyrants lived, conquered, and were completely forgotten by the shifting sands of time. 309 lunar years passed in the blink of an eye, and then they awoke. They brushed the centuries of thick dust from their eyes, stretching their stiff limbs, genuinely believing they had only slept an afternoon or a single night. Their stomachs rumbled with deep hunger, whispering carefully in the shadows. They sent one of their brothers down the mountain with an ancient silver coin, warning him to disguise himself and hide his faith, terrified that the tyrant king's soldiers were still relentlessly hunting them. They believed the ruthless Roman executioners were waiting just outside the city gates. But when he cautiously stepped into the bustling marketplace, he found a world entirely transformed. The pagan temples were completely gone. The false statues had been smashed to dust. The tyrant who had hunted them was nothing more than a forgotten whisper of ancient history. The vast city now echoed loudly with the majestic name of Allah. The very faith they had fled into the darkness to protect was now the radiant, undeniable light of the entire civilization. When he handed the merchant his 300-year-old silver coin, the sheer impossible reality of the divine miracle was unveiled. A profound, breathtaking sign, perfectly preserved in the mountain stone, proving to a forgetful world that the promise of the resurrection is absolute, undeniable truth.